Podcast. Another boy, soon to be boys in the building, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. It is that premium American whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com. And if you're going to drink or you choose to drink, you might as well make sure that you do it responsibly. Let's get it. Lucky Lefty Podcast. Onora Boys in the building, brought to you by Onora Whiskey, OnoraWhiskey.com, courtesy of Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Go lock in with us. Home of the Misguided Passion. You already know what it is. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network. Lucky Legends Players on the podcast coming this season. Subscribe on YouTube. Make sure you hit that thumbs up. Leave your comments, questions. We respond to all. Lucky Lefty Pod on Twitter, X, Instagram, TikTok. Follow us. Tap in with us. We're always committed to making sure that we spin it different. Everyone having a great evening. I told you guys yesterday that I had a previous engagement already scheduled, so I wasn't able to make it down to South Bend today for practice, but I have been watching and reading and hearing all of the reports. Some interesting stuff to talk about. We'll talk about a few tidbits. Of course, the quarterbacks. Everybody wants to talk about that. Is there another superstar brewing in the Notre Dame secondary? Does Notre Dame have its next superstar brewing in the secondary? I'm not talking about Leonard Moore. I am not talking about Leonard Moore. We'll get to that. The most dominant group today might surprise you, or it might not surprise you. We're going to tap into that too. Of course, Marcus Freeman, he met with the media. So we'll hear from the head coach of the Fighting Irish. We'll see what he has to say about the quarterbacks. We'll see what he has to say about the standouts from the first practice, what he did, what he wants to see from the quarterbacks, and a few other notes. But it's always good to be with you guys. If you have a GTB question, hit me up. Hit me up if you have a GTB question. Everything should be pretty good. I want to really, I don't know why this, bro. All right. Hopefully it fixes itself, but if not, we'll go to a different mic if that's what we have to do. So, quarterback play. Some interesting comments. Some very interesting comments. I think it's very interesting, number one, that Kenny Minchey, and Left will be here shortly. I think he was handling some things with the little guys. So he'll be coming in shortly. I think one thing that jumps out to me is that Kenny Minchey with the first group. I think Left will be happy about that because he always wanted this organic flow of the quarterback room and the natural order of things. So for those people that want the natural order of things, you know, maybe that helps you out. Other than that, both guys played pretty okay today, right? CJ with the second group. But see, here's the thing now. In the past, if there was a guy in a quarterback battle with the second group, I would definitely say he was at a disadvantage. With the way the roster has been built out, I don't know if the quarterback playing with the second group is necessarily at a disadvantage or doesn't have as good of a shot to have a great day like the quarterback that's playing with the first group. I think that's great for this competition, right? Because I think they're going to flip back and forth to go with the first group, the second group. But the fact that the roster, the talent, wide receiver room has some depth to it. You're talking about Jordan Faison being with the second group, Will Pauling, MALIK Fields, Jaden Grady House, Micah Gilbert, stepped out, shined a little bit today. And then you're not even talking about guys like Elijah Burris, Cam Williams, and some of the other wide receivers. So I think this is really going to be one of the most fair quarterback battles we can probably see. I really do. I really feel about the way everything is kind of working out for this quarterback battle. Of course, reports, I won't trip too much on interceptions. I think there were 4 interceptions on today, as reported by several outlets. One, Kenny Minchey early in the 7-on-7s, and then CJ Carr, I Bleav, had 3 interceptions. One was just, according to all reports, was just a fantastic display of athleticism by Tay Johnson. And then the other one was, kind of a deflection that Carson Hobbs ended up getting. And the other one was just a bad decision by CJ, according to reports. So first day, you hear that, and I'm really not worried about it. I'm not. And as Marcus Freeman, you'll hear him when we bring up his audio. I don't think he's concerned about it as well, because I think he wants to look at what the decision was primarily that led to the interception rather than the result, right? Because as I said before, that last interception, KK, according to reports, dropped the ball and it popped in the air. Carson Hobbs behind the play came up with a great play. So that within itself goes to show you, it might go in CJ Carr's tally as an interception. But other than that, you really look at how he got there, the throw, everything worked except for the wide receiver completing the catch. And we know the offensive coordinator Mike Denbrock already talked about that extensively in the offseason, how that wide receiver group is going to have to tighten some things up when it comes to making sure they catch balls this season on a consistent basis. Then you move to the wide receivers. It was a pretty workmanlike day, according to most. Micah Gilbert had a couple of plays. Then you had Will Pauling and MALIK Fields out there doing things. I think they were in shells today on light pads. So when you hear that, I don't know how hard people really were going today, but I think we'll get to see more with the wide receivers. I think I heard Brian Driscoll say that the passing game was really 4 passing themes, just run over and over again. So we'll see. We'll see. I'm excited to see them tomorrow. Now, one thing that I will say that I heard from a lot of people is that this team looks extremely big and extremely athletic. Extremely big and extremely athletic, which I don't think that's a surprise to anyone. I don't think anybody is shocked or surprised that the way Notre Dame has been recruiting the last 2 to 3 cycles, that this roster is playing out and starting to look the way it's looking. As I said before, I always talked about the previous 2 years when I went to fall practices, my eyes would be on the opposite field, the far field, where the freshmen are playing. right? The starters, the first, second groups are near field, near the media, and then on the far field, they have the freshmen, third string, walk-ons, and everybody else. And I would just have my eyes fixated over there because that's where CJ and Kenny were. They were on that field while Riley and Steve Angeli or Sam Hartman and Steve Angeli were on the near field. And so, you can see some incredible talent if you take a gander on the far field in between snaps, between the first and second groups during practice. And so, I heard that as well. Incredible athleticism going on over in the far field, which falls right in line with that trend because that's the way it was last year. We would see Bryce Young over there. We would see Logan Thomas, and Logan Thomas now has come over to the near field. So it's going to be exciting. We'll get to the defensive side of the ball. There's a lot to talk about on the defensive side of the ball as well. Look, it is incredible to me that it's incredible to me that give me a second because I'm trying to get these, trying to see. What the heck is happening? Let's make sure this is in here correctly. All right. Man, this audio is crazy. Some StreamYard is going through some issues because on Monday's RTCF show, Brian and I kept hearing echoes back and forth. We would hear each other, but it would be echoing in our headphones. And we had to continue to mute each other the entire show, which is crazy. I don't know how we did that for 3 hours, but we got through it. So, yeah, I'm not shocked. I'm not shocked at all. But I love seeing Gerby Lambert on the field. Also love seeing or hearing that Cooper Flanagan and Charles Jagasaw are going to be back. They expect them to be back. Jordan Patello was out there. It's good to see him moving around. Hopefully he can be ready for the beginning of the season. If not, I expect him to be ready early in the season, first couple of games. But once again, we're going to hear from Marcus Freeman on those things in a few minutes. Yes, Jason Smith. Yeah, absolutely. If you got a GTB question, comment, throw it in. Yes, we check the length and girth boxes. We absolutely do. We absolutely do. But that's something we knew. That's something we knew. Without question, consistently, I'm so happy to hear this. The most dominant group, was the offensive line today. And I absolutely loved hearing that. As far as the offensive side of the ball, absolutely loved hearing that the offensive line was the dominant group today. I really, really loved that. But we said it yesterday in our offensive line preview that for the most part, Notre Dame was going into the season with the offensive line intact, right? And then it was pretty cool. Marcus Freeman, because Notre Dame fans, you know, when the news came down about Charles Jagusah, all of us were like, man, there were people on social media talking about they need to find these kids and they're making money now and this and that. And I was so glad that Marcus Freeman clarified what happened so that fans could calm down. He said it was a group of players, a large group of players that all went out on ATVs and just enjoying themselves. And it was a freak accident, freak injury. And thank God, you know, I guess his wound, his exterior wound, was the stitches were coming apart. So he had to get that stitched back up and put back together. But other than that, rehab is going well. Right on schedule or ahead of schedule, and based upon the way he heals, and he'll be back. He'll be back during the season. So that's just good to hear. But this offensive line, you had 5 spots solidified, it seems like, right? Charles Jagusah was the right guard. Anthony Knapp was the left tackle. Emil Wagner was your right tackle. Billy Schrauff, of course, your left guard. And then you had Ashton Craig, who was lost to injury against Purdue early in the season last year. He's coming back. They held him out for the spring, made sure he was healthy going into the fall, and now he's ready to go. So you have this offensive line just fully intact. I can't tell you the last time we came in with an offensive line with this many games under their belt and coming off of an extended playoff run where they had to play tough games. They started the year on the road, most of them first-time starters, hostile environment, SEC country, and they held up. When things weren't going well, especially in the passing game last year, and the offensive line had to, backups for the most part, had to step to the front and really lead the way, specifically with the run game, including Riley Leonard. They were able each week to pretty much be at the forefront of Notre Dame establishing physical dominance over teams. They weren't perfect. They weren't technically sound. They weren't the best offensive line we've seen at Notre Dame, but they got the job done. Ladies and gentlemen, they got the job done. And that's something we need to be happy about. The ability of no matter what happens, that seems to run throughout this program. No matter what pieces are in place, Notre Dame finds a way to get the job done. And now we're here with high expectations with 4 of the 5 expected starters beginning fall camp. And they're the most dominant group on the field, according to most. They look the best out of everybody. That's really a good sign. That's a fantastic sign. Anytime you're starting on the road in a hostile environment, like they did it with 2 freshmen, true freshmen, redshirt freshmen on the left side. That's what they subjected Riley Leonard to start the season. And he survived. And once they got some games under their belt, things were able to take off and some changes were made because of injury, because of performance. But I'm here to tell you, man, that is a great sign. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't know how good it sounds and how important it is for this offensive line to be dominant last year. Remember we said this? Remember the argument amongst the fan base And everyone covering Notre Dame, everyone was split on whether or not Notre Dame should go out and acquire Riley Leonard via the transfer portal. Remember that? You guys remember that? And most people were like, yo, we got Steve Angeli, we got Kenny Minchey. Yo, let's just start the clock on what we have recruited and developed. Let's start the clock. And then there were other people like, yo, with this young offensive line, inexperienced offensive line, man, you might need some back there that can actually make plays on the run and with their legs. And those people were proven to be right. Now, this is the perfect offensive line to start a young first-time starter at quarterback. It really is. This is the perfect offensive line to do that. And I don't know if Marcus Freeman and his staff were actually looking that far down the road, saying, you know what? The offensive line is going to be in much better shape next year. That's when we start the clock on our youngsters. Maybe they were. Maybe they just said, yo, we're going to get Riley Leonard because that dude is going to give us a chance to win a championship because we feel like our team is good enough to make a run at a national championship. Whatever the decision, whatever the process was, they made the right decision. And now we're here with an offensive line that's experienced, that's tough, that's big. Reports about Billy Schrauth. You know he's been hampered by injuries since he arrived at Notre Dame. And for the first offseason, he is really clear. I mean, in the clear with injuries, healthy, moving well, playing strong. That's what people said today. That was fantastic to hear. Anthony Knapp, his development. They list him over 300, but a lot of people say he's still a little thin, which is amazing because Notre Dame, let's think about it. Notre Dame might have two of the leanest and thinnest tackles in all of college football. As massive as these tackles are now in this age of college football, Emil Wagner, who struggled for years to add weight. I think his first game against Texas A&M, he tapped in at right around 290 pounds. He found a way. He fought. He competed his butt off all year and held up 290 pounds. Anthony Knapp was right there with him. Now, they say Anthony Knapp put in the work this offseason to get up over 300. I'll see it for myself tomorrow. I'll see it for myself on Saturday in back-to-back practices. But I'm here to tell you, Notre Dame might have two of the leanest and lightest tackles in the nation for as far as a combination. Both of their weights together more than likely would probably be middle of the pack for starting tackles in college football. But yes, Sly Fox, they are extremely athletic. Extremely athletic. Extremely athletic. So tell me what you guys think about everything you heard. Put it in the chat. What did you think about what you heard about the quarterbacks? You know, what did you think about the interceptions? What did you think about some of the plays they made? Both of them made pretty good plays. But you live and die with the talent. And we said this in the quarterback preview. Let's be real. As much as we believe in the talent and the promise of both of these young men, they're going to make mistakes. But I would much rather they make mistakes against this defense and this elite secondary. Because honestly, let's be real. Go find me a secondary on this schedule that's as good as Notre Dame. Find me the secondary that they will face that is as good as Notre Dame. I don't think there is one. They definitely won't see a secondary as good as Notre Dame down in Miami to start the season. Texas A&M, they've really recruited and used the portal to shore up their secondary. They really have. So I'm gonna tap in to text Ags, see what they're saying about the practices. But I just don't see a secondary that's going to give them as many problems as the Notre Dame secondary seemed to give the quarterbacks today. Because all reports were like, and another thing that came out, we can get off somebody's back based upon what we heard. We can get off somebody's back based upon what we heard. I'll talk about that coming up in about 10 minutes. So the offensive line looked really good today. Running backs, man, it was good to see that Jeremiah Love and Jadarian Price were both on the field at the same time, according to multiple reports. And you know the running backs are deep, talented, explosive. I don't know. You guys can go to my Twitter X page. I retweeted a picture of Kedron Young. And, dude, his arms and his legs, good grief. Then they had a picture of Jadarian Price and his arms. And I'm like, dude, shout out to Lauren Lando. Coach Lando, shout out, bro. Hey, you well worth the hire. And that's it. Low key, ladies and gents. I know we suffered a lot of injuries early in the season. But with all of that attrition, for Notre Dame to physically impose their will throughout the rest of that regular season after the injuries, and then run that playoff gauntlet, physically dominating teams, you got to tip your cap to Lauren Lando. You have to. You have to. Great decision. Great decision. Another great decision by Marcus Freeman. Another great decision that a lot of people doubted him. A lot of people were trying to figure out why he was making the switch, why he was making the change, or why he had to make the change because I guess, it was a parting of ways. I'll leave it at that. But even in the parting of ways, it seems as if he went and found the right guy. He went and found the right guy. You can't blame him. Look, Achilles, you can't blame him for that Achilles. You definitely can't blame him for Charles Jagasaw. Jordan Patello got rolled up on trying to make a play. Both of the offensive linemen got rolled up on in the Purdue game. It was like, what injury? Benjamin Morrison was like a freak accident. Like all of the accidents last year, or all of the injuries last year, as Left joins us right here, Lucky Lefty Podcast, all of the injuries last year, Left, were either freak injuries or players rolling up on guys and piles. It was like there was limited true soft tissue injuries. The Boubacar Traore one, okay. But the vast majority of the injuries were really like the torn labrum, maybe for Charles Jagasaw early in the season in last fall camp. Maybe that. Gerby Lambert, but he came back from his injury pretty quick. The recovery, and the way they were able to carry and keep their strength throughout a 16-game season. You tip your cap to Lauren Lando. Yeah, whatever he's doing, keep doing it. And I don't know if Left, I tweeted out a picture of the running backs. Them dudes must be lifting boulders, bro. Yeah. I don't know what they putting on that weight bench. All of them rocked up.
Well, Jadarian Price was already huge. So
his arms are even more defined, though.
And then you got Kedron Young, who came in already huge. Aeneas Williams is stocky.
6'1", 240, bro. 6'1", 240, bro. See, I'm going to say that again. 6'1", 240.
Yeah. It's something serious, but it goes to show what a good program can do when they're able to take a product that comes in like these guys and don't forget, these guys are coming in well prepared. Like we said, these aren't projects like the Ades, even though Ade developed to be something really good, but Ade came in 200.
Hey,
You know,
Hey, I'll say this. That cat Mike Elston knew how to take a 200-pound dude
yeah.
and turn him
Julian
into,
Okora was
man,
underweight,
man,
majorly.
man.
It was a weird stretch. We went from like a Tua to E Shaq, a Romeo. Then we went to like Romeo's brother, which is smaller. Dalen Hayes is a little small. Career
Mm-hmm.
is a little small. So we had an era of like more Sheldon Day types than Tuitt types. It was a weird
Mm-hmm.
shift.
Yeah.
But we're getting back to monsters when we started recruiting Tyson Fords and you got your Bosky. I mean, we're bringing back size on both sides of football, but that's something Marcus Freeman had expressed early on in early in his early years of his still early career. Like he's only 3-4 years in, but in year one, he was saying that he wanted to add some size, and then he added size to his coaching staff. I mean, Max Bullock is huge. Gino Gaduli's like 6'5". Denbrock's pretty tall himself. I mean, he first started with the staff being tall. Hell, Al Golden was tall. Al
Mm-hmm.
Washington was tall. So once he got the staff, we said this before, the staff gonna recruit guys like size, like minded. What Gino Gaduli started doing, bringing in all these tall quarterbacks. I mean, oh my goodness, Deuce Knight was like 6'6". So that's awesome. I mean, we went from Drew Pine to Sam Hartman to a Riley Leonard. Now we got Stocky, Kenny Minchey, and CJ Carr's tall. So yeah, I wouldn't have been able to probably been recruited this year.
That's a fact. That's a fact, huh?
Hey, shout out to Brian Kelly seeing
That cat Gino would look at your tape like, nah.
Nah. He's just not tall enough. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. But I think that also adds some of that intimidation. I remember 2012 where, Manti Te'o famously talks about how just the size of the other team was just like, oh my God, this is levels to it. Now, I even remember when I played and Michigan State came to Notre Dame and they were big. I was like, oh my God. Northwestern was big. The safeties was like 220. I'm like, oh my God, these dudes are huge. So now Marcus Freeman is taking that size and adding it to Notre Dame. I mean, shoot, I remember, what was it, 2-3 years ago when I went up there and they were big. Like Xavier Watts was way taller than I thought he was. And I was like, oh my God, this dude's big. So it's really cool to see not only skill be recruited, but it's no more too many Amir Carlisle, CJ Sanders, that archetype of player. You're getting some guys that are dynamic. And I think that overall adds to just the game itself where you can just lay on people.
Mm-hmm.
It adds. In that fourth quarter, I mean, you got Jadarian Price running at you, and he's still sort of fresh because he's second in the rotation and there's 5 guys. So Jadarian Price in the fourth with a Kedra Young in the fourth. It's tough to deal with. I mean, hey, it's going to be a lot of options that we have, but overall, it's about health. And for Orlando to be finding a way with the ply, bands, whatever it takes, but it's such a strenuous process to lift during the season too. You live all year round pretty much. So to have knowing the peak, knowing to go hard, knowing that's a delicate process. And not that I don't think we did it wrong. Like, people had their criticisms of our injury bug that was going on. I don't really necessarily think that was a strength and conditioning thing. I mean, I think we honestly just got unlucky. I mean, hell, Jalen Smith's injury was like, what was that? Hell, my injury was like, what was that? Like, it was just stuff like, I don't think you blame this.
I think Torians was the only non-contact. Yeah. I mean, this is the crazy thing about Torian's injury. He juked the mess out of the defensive dude. He embarrassed the defensive back.
Would have probably scored if he did. I mean, just just the history of like Notre Dame football is just different because it was just so early. Tarians was the first couple plays. I was the second game. Just it was just a lot. So
Yeah,
who knows how that season really could have been if we even got past Clemson, which was game 3. Like,
that's crazy.
so yeah, but for us to still, because I mean, it devastated us in a way because it was like, okay, these are in spots where now you got young guys that are really young. These are projects. We putting these guys on the shelves for good reason, not because it's just we got over talent. So that was what was going against Ohio State at the end of the year. Like it wasn't much you could do. But then as compared to this year with a lot of injuries, you got guys that are already ready to go. Some was on the shelf. A lot of the reasons it was deep. I mean, we were really deep. And the confidence, and I think that goes with having a great staff, the confidence of the backups, quote unquote backups, rotational guys, to go in there and execute like they should have been starting all year. I just think that's just great preparation, a great mindset that the team has of the next man in. And I don't think they say that, but that sort of rhetoric is what you think of, because I mean these dudes are like, shoot, this is my turn. Okay, let's show out. Even from the young guys. And I think you ask NFL legacy, get a Brian Young in there where you're just like, he's just so excited to play, and he's not even quote unquote the starter, but he's playing and giving valuable minutes. So we've turned into a team that just like the Spurs, just everybody's just a solid addition. And you can carve a rollout, as opposed to some of these other teams where I just feel like they lock themselves in these upper echelon players that you don't get a chance to. You got to play them, so to speak. Where we're getting really good players that got the mentality of, hey, I just want a chance, and to recruit guys like that. Shout out to Mike Martin and Marcus Freeman to get the guys with the character to come to Notre Dame. We got a very strong filtering process when it comes to guys we can actually offer, but then guys that actually get offered and want to come. It just trickles down to only a couple guys that are not only eligible, but even thinking Notre Dame. So for those guys to filter at the bottom and then be like, oh, okay, and then be productive players, Marcus Freeman's got the formula. So I do think it puts us on track to having a repeat successful year. But this is all about closing in moments. We just got to win the game. It's hard to think that we'll have a tough time during the regular season getting to the playoffs. It's just strictly like second season mindset in the background. Now, we're not going to look ahead necessarily. Like, you don't want to do that. But, Clemson repeated. They went to the championship, lost, and it was like, we coming right back. It wasn't even like the 2 seasons booked up. Just booked them 2 seasons because Alabama was booking them. It was the Alabama Bowl.
Remember that second season, though. That second season was crazy for them to get back. They lost to Pitt at home.
Yep.
That's when that cat SHAUN threw 73 passes in a game. That was crazy, bro.
Yeah, crazy.
Threw like 3 interceptions. They
Like,
still scored. They scored 40 points. Lost by 4, I think. He threw 73 passes, 500 yards, and people were blaming him. He's like, dude, my ETN is out.
Yeah.
So I don't have a running game. I'm throwing every play.
Have a running game though. Like went from like the best running back to nothing. It was I don't know how you recruit like that. We don't have that. We got away from that. I don't know, but that year was games which I think will happen this year. I'll put it out there right now. We'll have games like that where it just be so like, what is going on? Nothing you can really prepare. You can't prepare no team for no 73 passes in a game, and that doesn't happen. So stuff like that will happen to us because everybody's just thinking we're just going to cruise through the regular season. Marcus Freeman had that feeling last year, and then NIU happened, but it's going to be even crazier this year because nobody thinks we're going to lose up until shoot. I don't even know. I've been looking at some of these reviews. They're really confident in us now, but we've shown that we've got the right ingredients But man, we'll have some wonky games where if you betting on Notre Dame, there's gonna be some times where you're gonna lose your money with just how the dice roll. But I don't think that affects us actually getting to the playoffs. I still think we got a very high chance of getting to that game. Very high chance. But the second season has proven that a lot of things can shake up in the playoffs, man. And injuries we have seen to find the elixir of youth. We can keep going and move some pieces around. And hey, we can keep that magic going. And I think a lot of that comes from having a staff that sticks together now. Not too many pieces have moved in and out. Guys have stayed loyal. Money must be good up there right now. You know, we won a championship, so everybody got a little boost. Now, if we won the championship, we cashing out, you know. But hey, I think everybody got their money set for at least this year. We got everything to get back. So I do think a dynasty is something we can have. But I'm two quarterbacks that's never played will always have you in a little bit of a unknown space, no matter how good your team is.
It was funny before you jumped on. I said I was open to Notre Dame starting the clock on their young quarterbacks last year. I was open to it. I'm like, yo, the schedule is soft, it's Charmin tissue. Like, just go ahead, let them play. But you had to tip your cap. Marcus Freeman made the right decision.
Yeah.
He made the right decision. He went, even I don't know if this was his thought process, but now you have an offensive line. If Charles Jagusah doesn't get injured, you have your offensive line is set going into fall camp. No competition. All of them have experience.
Good experience.
Good reps, good experience. Solid tackles. And now that's the offensive line you want to play your young quarterbacks behind.
Yeah, you got all the buffering for a soft landing for a young, inexperienced quarterback. Where all you got to do is like AJ McCarron in 2012.
Ooh.
Where you got Eddie Lacy. You got who was behind
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper. You got on the other side whoever that monster was. Then you got the front who was all of them went first round. It's like snap the ball, be loud, act like you running the show. Don't turn it over to the other team, and I swear you're gonna be just fine. Like you're gonna be better than fine. Mm-hmm. Hell, you might even get places where people will hate on you and question it because they're like, your team is too good. So I don't see us failing at the quarterback position. I would like us to achieve something greater than the expectation because the expectation is still low. I mean, Riley Leonard gave us a nice place to surpass and look really good in year one. 2,900 yards. If we can't have a quarterback show up day one and get more than 2,900 yards in 2025 year 4 Marcus Freeman program, then that's the most shameful thing since. So the bar is low, is what I'm saying. 2,900. You can go to Tulsa, you can go to Cincinnati, you can go to anywhere in college football and see an offense throw more than that. Teams that don't even make the playoffs throw more for that. So it's possible to have a very, very, very good year for whoever's in the quarterback position. That's why they probably like, oh, it can go either way because it can. It's not like oh my God, we need this guy because he can do this that would add to the offense that we don't have and that can make plays that nobody else can. No, it's man. Both of these guys can develop in this offense, and we can go either way, do whatever we want, pass, run, kick, score, backpedal, whatever. It's a la carte. Hell, we can be a run team one game and go out there with 5 receivers and be even better. So Marcus Freeman's like, shh, I'll go ahead, play it out. I'll take the winner, and we're going to get the ride on. I mean, hey, because at least – he can feel good because it is homegrown. This is mama's cooking. He didn't have to go, the Olive Garden or the Outback to get a carry out plate where it's gonna come good, but it's general. Now he got something where it's like, okay, a little seasoned, been marinated. It just tastes different. You know, the burgers you cook at home are always better than McDonald's. And McDonald's be good though. When you're hungry, when you're on the go.
When you're hungry and you ain't got a lot of money.
When you're hungry, and we was hungry for a quarterback. We
order through that app, get that $1 double cheeseburger. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're not there telling them the mobile order.
McDonald's is different through that McDonald's app.
Rewards, all type of stuff you got going on. So off that app. You say, you know what? We do got some ground beef in that refrigerator. Been sitting in there. It's about time to put it on the grill. It's time to put it on the hot seat. I know I can season this thing up now. It's been in there for a minute. So that's what I'm excited about, a home cooked meal.
Yeah.
Something that you can be proud of, that you put out there. And I think that's what we're gonna get this season, particularly, especially for Marcus Freeman. We can say, okay, this is my team. This has all my markings on it. Nobody else has touched this product. Nobody else has touched it. You can't say this is Kelly's. Can't say this is influenced by Swarbrick. Can't say this is a call from the alumni club. This is all me. My hires, nobody got hired with. I decided everything, which is because now we can evaluate a Marcus Freeman era program compared to other great coaches of Notre Dame. Kelly ain't got nothing to say on this one. You can't say, well, those are my guys and I'm glad they're playing. Nope. This is Marcus Freeman's recruiting. That's this year in particular, which I'm excited about because we're not taking transfers that are like, oh my God, save us for a year until we get our guy ready. No, we got good transfers. But the guys we got is, hey, homegrown. You're going to have to compete with that. Yeah, you're going to play, but you're going to have to stand by me for a play. Need my young gun to get in there.
Yeah.
Need my young gun to get. That's how the season going to be because I'm expecting, not because these teams aren't good, but I just know these programs it's just no way you're catching up right now.
Yeah.
Not with all the things we got. You can have some good pieces, a good offense, a good defense, but you literally got to have a really good offense that's scoring a lot of points and a defense that's stingy. You need a defense that can take away the run first, which is hard to do. I mean, hell, we can't even take away the run that great. And then you need a defense that can take away the pass. And then you need a defense that can just stop just the pressure because your offense is getting stopped on the other side. So now it's a lot you got to think about. And then, we're going to throw some trick plays in there. Good old, look, everybody doubted my dog, Coach Biaggi. I'm just going to say I've been on his coattail from the beginning. Now, everybody said, oh, he's not this, he's not. I said, let him give me time. Always knew he was going to be a great coach. Now he up there shot calling with Mike Pickens. He's just scheming in the scheme room like this. That's what you like to see. But that's good eye for talent. Marcus Freeman, one of the underrated things, you got good eye for talent, players and staff. All the guys he hired go up there. What they do that first media day? Man, I was chilling with my wife watching TV. I get a call from Marcus Freeman, not a call from Notre Dame. I get a call from Marcus Freeman. And his brother trying to sell me Notre Dame. And I'm like, all right. So these are hand-picked recruits. I think you're on mute.
Say it again. ND Milton fan, thank you for the super sticker. I was on mute. Apologize for that. D Monk, Mr. Food Lover. GTB, in a 100-meter sprint, who is your top 8 past and present? Is Will Fuller on the list? Man, that's a good question for Left. I would have Will Fuller on my list. Kevin Stephenson would be on my list.
Kevin Stephenson on the list is
The top 8 fastest guys you've seen at Notre Dame. Jalen would probably be on my list.
Jalen who?
Smith.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I mean, shoot, fastest guys. We got some fast. Dude, Chris Brown was fast.
Breezy was fast.
Fast as hell. Will was the fastest. Kivari was fast as hell. Bennett was fast. Now we had some. You know what's so funny? We do. EQ was fast. Miles apparently is fast as hell. Chase Claypool. I mean, he
said Miles apparently.
Man, Miles ran a 4.4. I did not know that. Like what? Like, man, them dudes can roll. But I think that's just also, attributed to what we'll see this year. We'll actually see some speed, in my opinion, from our receivers. Where we're like, man, we got some guys that can roll. Because guess what? The ball's going to be down the field this year. I mean, that's what everybody's anticipating. Is the ball going to fly past 10 yards? Is that double post going to look like a bird in the sky or a rocket in the air? Which one?
Well, I'm going to say some things from the practice that you missed before you got in the show, and I'm just going to let you react to it. I'll go down the list. Okay? As practice began, Kenny Minchey spent the entire first day with the ones. He was with the ones. So there was organic flow to the start of fall camp. Okay? You happy now? You happy?
I knew it was. I knew it was.
You happy?
I knew it was. Yeah. I knew it was. Because I mean, what you gonna mess it up this early? You do it the right way. CJ gotta do, like, in my opinion, if they're even, Kenny's leaving. CJ gotta be head and shoulders. And that's only because it's like, dude, we don't need a savior. We just need a capable dude. Which is great grounds for a young guy like CJ to try to take over the mantle, because there's nothing for him to lose. Like, he can only just be winning. Any situation with him and where he is on the roster and all of that stuff, everything he do is a win. He can't really lose in this situation. Where Kenny got more of the higher stakes. And the staff know that. They're like, well, shoot, Kenny is really more back against the wall, because if we roll CJ, it's just going to be an avalanche. It's going to be hard, in my opinion, for Kenny to overcome a CJ overcoming him. That's why I think it's Kenny's to lose, because that way, I just think you lose Kenny if you end up going with CJ at some point.
Well, neither one of them had a good day.
As expected. We got a good defense.
I've read multiple reports. Once again, for those of you that are joining today, I had a previous engagement already scheduled. I will be there for the next 2 days. I was not able to make it today, but I did have eyes and ears down there. And from what I have gathered, let me tell you something. I said that I would say this 10 minutes ago, and it's a perfect time to let it go. Y'all can stop that Christian Gray hate. All that Christian Gray hate that everybody had post-injury. I kept saying, post-injury is when he struggled. And today, they tried to go at him. Matter of fact, it was reported that they only saw one ball thrown to his side all day.
I mean, Christian Gray went through the ring of fire.
And that's what you have to do.
Survived. Like,
Leonard Moore is going to go through something.
He's got to.
It might not be as significant as Christian Gray's.
Like, Christian Gray literally has gone through the rite of passage where, like, he's battle tested it's nothing else. There's no battle he is not. He has literally went against the best receiver in the highest stakes.
It was me.
In the most
it was
crucial
me
moment.
and the crucial on a 4th down. It doesn't get any bigger than that.
There's no bigger moment in college football for any corner to experience than what he experienced last year. From the USC game, which even though USC wasn't who was that, but from the situation to doing the playoffs at Penn State to going against literally the number, they talking about this dude could have went number 1 last year. We're talking about the number 1 receiver in the nation on the number 1 team in the national championship game with no safety help, 1-on-1, 4th down. It doesn't matter if he won or lost that particular battle. It's the fact that he went through it. Now he's walking into this year like, dude, I'm locking everything up. What are you talking about? What are you talking? Like what? Like what? Are you serious? The quarterback should be scared because this is the dude that. Oh, okay, well, I know I can't look over at Leonard Moore, which I think he'll get tested in some ways.
Yeah,
but he's ready. I mean, I didn't get paid the briefcase. The fat briefcase came to the dorm room. We ain't gonna talk on campus. It came to the dorm room. He opened that thing up. He said, "Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I can." So, and you got Mike Mickens. Think about this. You already done went through the craziest trial of fire ever, and your OG just happens to be Mike Mickens. Think. But you go down the hallway, you be like, "Oh, okay, we good. I got my." Whew. That's like Floyd Mayweather having his dad in the corner. It's like, okay, I got the okay. All right, ain't nothing scary. What's scary? What is scary for Christian Gray this year? What matchup is or moment would be scary for Christian? I can't name one because he went through the biggest you can go through, and the scheme we play is man. So it ain't like he was hiding in a zone or, playing a little pitter patter, passing off. No, we play man. So what else could you ask for? Our secondary is very seasoned, very, very seasoned, which I think puts more spotlight on this D-line to perform because now we know everybody else good. Now we're really looking at the D-line. It's one thing if the defense is going through phases, but we good. We good back there. The skies is clear. We are locked in the skies. But what's that trenches look like? Because the airfare is great. Air Force, big money. We damn near in Space Force with that secondary. We got the skies and the galaxy covered. But what's the trenches look like? Can we, which I'm excited about because that's where probably the attention and the focus goes from the staff. The staff's like, all right, we got this patched up, that's patched up. We got to see what's down there. Check under the hood. We got 8 guys in the interior. We got some monsters coming back healthy. Backup running backs can't have 100 yards. That's what I'm thinking because now we got to think measurements.
You know what, though? The running backs are salivating. You know why? All those Riley carries go to them this year.
Oh, yeah. Thank God. Like, what?
Jeremiah Love is probably like no more lead blocking.
Yeah. He's like, I think I got enough blocking on tape for the league for a long time.
Yeah.
I think I should make more highlights this year.
Yeah.
Thank goodness. I mean I'm telling you, Denbrock's probably, man, I'm on page 3 or 4 in this big old playbook, man. We had to, scrap that last magazine, got something real. We got something real in here.
Indie Milk fan, GTB question for you both. What makes Denbrock such a good OC? Left, remember any good stories about him as a player? Hashtag never forget. Hashtag he doesn't get credit for the losses.
Well, one, when you got good players, it's a hell of a lot easier to look good as a coach. And that's not even that's for anybody. I mean, look at Todd Monken. He had Brock Bowers to play with. I mean, yeah, you can call great plays because, I mean, he's doing it in the NFL and all that, but Brock Bowers 3 times All-American. Brock Bowers, 2-time champion, only lost 2 games in his whole career. So, that's when you got players like that, easy. Then Brock got Jaden Daniels and Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas on one team. The NFL, they couldn't even pay all 3 of them dudes on the same team. They couldn't pay all 3. So you getting that in college for free, man. You better have 2 first rounds and a Heisman. So half of that is, well, a good chunk is these guys are dudes. Guys are dudes. Now, you can have a bunch of guys and still don't know how to coach. That's where the Denbrock effect comes in. I think what Denbrock's so special at is that he gives guys chances. He has to okay, I can see it, and okay, we're not gonna overwhelm. We're just gonna give you these 3 or 4 things. We're gonna give you a fly, we're gonna give you a post, and then maybe a hitch, and that's it. But when you do it, you're gonna be productive. So he knows how to make you productive at what you're good at. You don't have to be good at everything. You're good at like 2 things, and he'll use that to the max. That's why I like Denbrock so well. So that's why, when it comes to fitting roles, what role can you do well? What can be your route? Chris Mitchell's was the post, and we tried it, and then we couldn't throw it, and then he had to do smokes, but you knew Chris Mitchell's routes. So if you can fit into that, you're going to be great for Denbrock. And I think that's what the quarterback should know too. Like, hell, if we're subbing in this guy, okay, he's running to go, we probably should throw it to him. Because, I mean, that can help you process of elimination, think faster as a quarterback. So Denbrock knows how to make it edible for you to go out there and play at your high level.
Lucky Lefty podcast. So not only was it a tough day, or average day for the quarterbacks, the best unit, this is going to make you happy, the best unit was the offensive line. Pass pro, run blocking, they were opening up holes against a really good defensive front. Like I said, to me, that's the most important thing that came out of practice. Like, I'm not worried about these quarterbacks, bro. I'm not. That offensive line being dominant, if that is going to be what we take, you're probably going to see Marcus Freeman walk out, turn around to his O-line again, like, let's go. let's almost cussed. Let's go. Let's smack these dudes in the mouth. Take their lunch, go into their refrigerator, lay on their couch, kick our feet up, watch TV, snake the remote.
Because that kills the morale of a team. You practice all week, scheming, demon, all type of plays you gonna run, ways you gonna stop them. And we know our first couple of days of practice, we got that run game. Oh, yeah, this team's gonna have a hard time because they like, what's our adjustments? Well, they're just running up the middle. Well, they're just running left, they're just running right. If we can't stop that, we letting little posts, little go routes, a little drag here and there kill us because we can't stop the bait. So that's why Denbrock is quote unquote genius, because we're just doing simple stuff we're just really good at. Perfect example, I know go back to Denbrock, but Corey Robinson, he got the most out of Corey Robinson. Anytime you saw Corey Robinson in the game, what was he doing? In the red zone, catching one hands. Like that's all. You didn't see him in the middle of the field doing what? Wasting time, being a decoy. Anytime he came in the game, throw that hand up. But Denbrock knew that. We in the middle of the field. Where's Will at? Just send him deep. It's not hard, but if you're not locked into simple, more is less, so to speak, you're gonna make it look way more complicated. And now we're not scoring points, and it's like, what are we doing? We all have talent. So I do think that what's special about what Denbrock has is that offensive line. If you got a canvas with every color, you like, what? But if you're just working with a couple crayons and a couple markers, what can you do? So now that we know that we got the run game, I'm not, like you said, like we said 2 years ago, this is not about the quarterback. We just need to name a guy, but this is not about the quarterback, because guess what? If he's trash, so what? Guess what we're going to do? Just hand it off. Just hand it off. And then we're going to baby feed the quarterback. He's going to gain his confidence through the season. And then week 8 or something, he's going to pop out with 300 yards, and now teams are going to really be messed up. They're like, no, he figured it out. We're the quarterback daycare. We'll just baby your career for a year or two, make you feel good, rub your shoulders, give you some good press, give you a great old line in a run game. You want to go to the league? Okay, we're just gonna guide you through it. This is not we need a Leonidas. We need a president to lead us to victory. We need a Cam Newton, a Jameis. No, we need a guy with a little talent, good customer service. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that can make you feel good. So it is an important job. But as long as we're at the O-line, and the thing is that it could be demoralizing for our defensive line because they're like, it's the first couple of days of camp. We can't get anywhere. But it's not you guys. You know what I mean? Don't quit working on your moves because they don't work on necessarily our guys. Our guys are, you're getting good work every day.
Mm-hmm.
But don't stop working on your moves because when you go against the lowly teams of the ACC and whatever, it might work. You might have something. But, if the O-line is kicking butt and then you add 5 guys that are very capable, one just happens to be the best player, quarterbacks just don't turn the ball over. That's the mission.
Yeah. So to recap, offense, great day. Offensive line, running backs, the studs. That room's talented. Quarterbacks, up and down day, both guys. Kenny Minchey ran with the 1s. CJ Carr ran with the 2s. Offensive line, read like this. Anthony Knapp at left tackle. Billy Schrouf, left guard. Ashton Craig was your starting center. Good to see him back. Sullivan Absher got the shot at right guard. And then Emil Wagner. The second unit, Styles Prescott, left tackle. Then you had Peter Jones at left guard. Joe Otting at center. Christopher Tarrant, good to see him back from injury at right guard. And then Gerby Lambert at right tackle. It was mentioned that Will Black, ladies and gentlemen, he was playing at guard. Will Black is going to be a future left tackle at Notre Dame. Like, relax. If that's the best way for him to get on the field, especially to give him opportunity to play with Charles Jagasaw going down, if guard is the way to get him a chance to play, and it is what it is.
Hell, Charles Jagasaw played guard.
He did.
So, listen, O-line is interchangeable at Notre Dame. You go in as a right guard, leave as a left tackle. You never know. Because guess what? You just going to play every spot. We good like that. This is not, we got to fill a hole and take our best guy and put him up. No, it's just like, what's this combination look like? A little Charles Jagasaw, Emil Wagner action, or a little Will Black and a little Emil Wagner. It's great that we have that because we have a great system.
Mm-hmm.
This is not we just happen to have a good old line and shit. No, this is plug and play. You're going to get some of the best, most focused talent because they respect Notre Dame offensive line. Now, I would like to see that for quarterback and D-line position, but we're getting there.
Well, you ready to go to the defense side of the ball left?
Nothing but stars.
Man, let me tell you something. Let's start the defensive line and work our way back, right? Let's start with the biggest question and then work our way back to what we know is elite. That we know is talent at the linebacker position. We know the back end is stacked. The first team defensive line might surprise you. It was Josh Burnham, Gabriel Rubio, Donovan Hinish, and Junior Tuilamaka. I mean, that's what they rolled with in the national championship game after Riley Mills was injured. That was the 4 that they rocked out with. So I'm not shocked that they continue to rock with those guys. Second team, Bryce Young, Jason Onyé, Jared Dawson, Logan Thomas. And then
But that's
everybody
the
else.
thing, though. But that's the thing. It's just it almost doesn't matter who starts because there's no Chase Young on the team, or just there's no Miles Garrett out there. But all these guys, like you could just have a hot day today because you're good. I mean, all you guys are good. So it can start like that, but it can easily change, and I don't think we would miss a beat, is what I'm getting to. Until we get a dude that's just like that deal, which I think we got to recruit some. We did recruit some. We did a good job recruiting. But right now, everybody's unproven. So these lineups are just like we could just call it random on it. I don't think the production would change from a guy starting, not starting. I think it's great value to have another Iron Man in Tulamaka. Like I saw that he hasn't missed anything. Like he's never missed a practice, never missed a bus trip, hotel meeting, anything. He's every game, every rep. So that's great experience to have. And kind of just build off of that. I mean, give the guys credit, even though they didn't do much on the championship game, D-line specifically. But hey, start where you left off, I guess.
Good to see our guy Sid Irish, boy, representing the NY. Hope you're good up there, man. A lot of shootings going on up there. NFL office. The weather's been super hot. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. And I love New York. I promise you I love New York, Sid Irish. There is no place that I do not want to be. The worst place to be on a hot day is New York. Because the garbage is out front. It's just, when it's really hot in New York, it becomes a little insufferable, bro. It becomes a little insufferable. But I love NY. A matter of fact, I had to get up there. Had to check and see if Illinois has played a basketball game up there, I think the last 4 years. Let's check the schedule, see if they have one more. D-line had its moments. I'll be honest. According to reports, had their moments. Matter of fact, one of the interceptions was due to quick pressure up the middle by Jared Dawson, getting in the face of C.J. Carr. He had to throw the ball off his back foot. Ended up being picked off by Tay Johnson. And Tay Johnson had 2 picks on the day. It is, I don't know what to say, bro. If this D-line can put any type of pressure on the quarterback, it's going to be tough for offenses to move the ball.
Yeah, like we said, we were 2/3 of the way stacked already. So adding a unit, and we're not even saying they got to be out of this world. We're just saying a consistent production that's above average.
Mm-hmm.
Is that asking for too much when you have 50 guys in that position? Somebody got to make it. Now, I am excited for maybe a Jason Onyé to crack that starting lineup. But then again, it's like, man, it's almost out of sight, out of mind with this football team because every guy that's in there is taking literally most of their opportunities. So
Yeah.
you damn near forget about the plays of Jordan Botelho and Boubacar Traore and Jason Onyé just because they haven't been there, not because they haven't been not productive.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I'm excited about these defensive ends. Someone asked, Christopher Burgess is just a big kid, bro. He's a grown man. Christopher Burgess has been a grown man since he was a junior.
Yeah, oh man, what?
Did you see? You saw the video when he was watching the national championship game? Oh no, that was the Orange Bowl he was watching.
Dude, he's
He's
so big that I'm not worried about when he gets on the field because I know he's gonna be all right.
He's a grown man.
Yeah, you're not saying, oh yeah, give him a year to get in the weight room. Just keep going to it. It ain't nothing that we really trying to build that you don't got. It's just like let's just go work with the juniors over there. You don't need none of these intro classes.
Is there like a freshman bench?
Yeah, it's funny because you go in and they basically try to teach you like you don't know nothing. But Chris Burgess, he don't need those lessons. All the freshmen get together. You there for everybody else. You there 4 a.m. Something ridiculous. And they trying to teach you, this is how we warm up. This what a squat look like. Chris Burgess, go ahead and get your nap in, man. Come in with the older dudes, the vets. Just jump in. You know what to do. Look at you. Look how big you are. You know what to do. Just get in there. Get your sets in. We're going to be all right.
Yeah, bro. He's been a grown man. Lucky Lefty podcast. Jason Smith, you in the Fort Myers area, bro? That's what's up. Man, we vacation down there at Captiva Island in Sanibel. A lot. Me and my wife love that place, especially around the anniversary time. Fort Myers is good area, bro. It's a good area. Literally, the first time we flew into Fort Myers, we rent the car and we're driving to Captiva Island, and we literally see a panther. Because the Florida Panthers play down there. We literally see a panther run across the road, bro. And I'm like, wait a minute, babe. What did I just see? And she was like, it was a really big black cat. I don't know exactly what it was. But yeah. Love Captiva Island, man. If you get a chance, you and the missus, man. South Seas Resort. It's absolutely amazing. It was ravaged by that hurricane. And I think it was shut down for like the bridge, from Fort Myers across, I think collapsed. It was crazy. Yeah, see? Jason Smith. Yeah. Captiva's real nice, bro. That's what's up. You guys have a condo there? That's fantastic. Antoine, appreciate you, my brother. Good to be back. Linebackers, bro. What you want me to say? They're good. They're good. They're deep. They're long. They're athletic. They're multiple. They can play multiple positions. They can put different combinations out there. The biggest linebacker might be freshman Madden Farango. Like Drake Bowen, according to reports, is smaller and faster. Like, this team looks like what an elite team is supposed to look like. Look like when you see a team walk in the stadium, you like, yo, when you see them stretching in warm-ups, it's like, man, some big dudes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's no more of those guys. You like, do you play for Notre Dame? It's like, no. Like, what position you play? What number you is in the program? Those are the guys that we starting to get, which is the good feeling, because before, our players blended in with the students. They were just undercover athletes. Now it's like, oh, you came football. Not that you can't be in any other clubs or nothing, but they're like, oh, okay, I know it's paying your bills here. And that's quite all right, because you fit the description. It's about intimidation. We're finally being the intimidating, because, usually what do people say? Oh, their O-line is intimidating because they're all big and strong and fast and good. Now you're like, damn, their tight ends are big, the quarterbacks are big, their running backs are big, their receivers are big. Golly. Before it was just, man, oh damn, one thing, they're gonna have that offensive line, they're gonna be big and strong, country rock, blah, 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 blah. Now it's like their whole team big. I love it.
Ah, man. And the thing about it is, Left, when the youngsters are big and just as big, you see Will Black, it's like, yo, I said it yesterday.
Will Black is huge.
Huge, bro. He's huge. You see him walk up And he's not even starting. It's like, oh, that's what y'all got sitting in the back waiting. Oh, Gerby Lambert, you 6'6", 330, just chilling, waiting to come in. It's incredible, man. It's really incredible. I can't wait for the next 2 days to really dig in, on this football team. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think CFB rules say that they will be in these light shells until the fourth or fifth practice, if I'm not mistaken, which is next week. I think next Thursday. No, the next time we get to see them is the next time we see them, and they'll be in pads, I believe, will be the 10th, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be saying the date, so let me stop. But yeah, it's a week out before they start really popping in the pads. Before they really start popping in the pads. Lucky Lefty podcast. Let me give you the rundown. The defensive line, I gave that to you. Linebackers were interchangeable all day. Let's go to the secondary. Christian Gray, field corner. Leonard Moore, boundary. Luke Talich was the starting free safety. Adon Schuler, the starting boundary safety. Nickelback was Devontae Smith, the transfer from Alabama. Dallas Golden, field corner for the second unit. Boundary corner, Creed Thomas and Mark Zachary. Tate Johnson was the free safety. Boundary straight safety was James Stroman, transfer from Virginia Tech. And then the nickelback was Carson Hobbs for the second team. And there's really nothing else to say other than they were really, really good. Sid Iris, that's an interesting concept. Because I like what Joe Rudolph does, especially from a recruiting standpoint. I really do. I really do. But when I see Joe Rudolph build and develop a dominant offensive line, like the 2017 offensive line or the 2015 offensive line, Harry Heastand literally has two dominant offensive lines on his resume at Notre Dame. Joe Rudolph doesn't have one yet. Matter of fact, he had two top 100 NFL tackles on his team, and that offensive line was underwhelming under his leadership. But he's a hell of a recruiter. He can recruit his tail off. He can recruit his butt off. There's no doubting that. No doubting that. That man can recruit his tail off. He can recruit his butt off. That's the only pushback I would say. I've literally seen dominant offensive lines at Notre Dame under Harry Heastand. Bivin. If I'm not mistaken, matter of fact, shoo. Let me see. That's a good question. They have multiple guys. Matter of fact, when I was at the Irish Invasion, they had like three guys working with the offensive line. So many analyst spots now.
Oh yeah.
Kurt Rawlings.
Kurt Rawlings.
Kurt Rawlings. That was, man, that was gonna mess me up all night. Kurt Rawlings. I had to look it up because I knew I had discussed him with Gregory Patrick and a couple other the offensive line commits in the 26th class. Kurt Rawlings. It was really bothering me. Like I know this coach. I know this name. Yeah, Kurt Rawlings. Doing an excellent job, by the way. I
Yeah.
watched him. Yeah, I watched him at the Irish Invasion. Doing an excellent job. That McDermott kid out of Indiana.
McDermott sound like a good offensive line guy anyway.
Yeah,
It sounds like good
I
offensive
like.
line man.
I think I like that kid. I'm gonna watch his tape and watch him play this year. But I like that kid for the 27 class. I like that kid. So that's it. I gave you the rundown. Tay Johnson had 2 interceptions. According to everybody, one of the interceptions was just absolutely stupid. Just dumb. Like, can't even blame CJ for throwing the ball. Because there's no way Tay Johnson shouldn't have been able to jump that high and snag it with 2 hands. Like, no way he should have been able to do that. No one else on the roster does. No, let me stop. I was about to say no one else on the roster does that. Then I realized that Ethan Long and Jadon Blair are both 6'4", 6'5".
And Malik is like 6'4" or something like that too, ain't he? Yeah, I mean,
I was about to say, yeah, no one else on the roster can do that. Then I'm like, with some freshmen on the other field today.
Yeah.
And there's
We got
one
big dudes.
and there's one coming next year that's about 6'4". That probably
That's what I'm saying. Like, what? When you, yeah, our average safety height's like 6'3". Where do you find that anywhere in college? Average height in the room, not average height of the starter. The average height of the room is like 6'3", 6'4".
That's crazy, bro.
I wouldn't have been recruited during this era. Jesus.
Left able to dish you, bro.
Look, I'm like, damn, I can't even, they tougher than LinkedIn.
Hey, even at quarter, I think Kenny is the shortest quarterback.
Yeah, because the freshman dude like 6 something crazy.
He's huge. Blake Heber.
Hell, the dude that just committed
Noah Grubbs. Oh yeah.
Committed that
Gerard. Teddy Gerard.
Like 6'4", 280. No, he's like 6'4", 220 already. Like what?
Hey, bro. Yeah, Gino
like,
wouldn't look at you, bro.
No. I mean, 6'4", 220. He's a junior. Yeah, like what?
Hey man,
in there now that's not even getting looked at right now. He's just on the team, servicing the water and stuff. He's 6'5". Yeah, I don't know how they gonna make room for Jaden Wade because this.
Everybody drink. Everybody drink.
I wonder what's their game plan for quarterbacks then. I mean, we taking in these dudes. How are they looking at the years in this one?
Everybody drink. He mentioned Jaden Wade. We told you for all year. Anytime he mentions Jaden Wade, everybody take a shot of Onora whiskey wherever you are.
It's the future #1 pick. I'm telling you.
No reason at all to be talking about this dude.
No, all the reason. He's just got it all. I've just never seen it like that. He's like the LeBron James.
When we come back, we'll hear from the head coach, Marcus Freeman, before we let you guys get some shut-eye. Thanks for joining us late night, Lucky Lefty, right here, Bleav Network. We spin it different.
What's up, family? We're back here once again, the Lucky Lefty Network shop. We've updated it to all your favorite gears from the Freeman era to the signature logo, Lucky Lefty. We do it the best, and we spin it different. This time, we're coming way different. We got accessories, mugs, women apparel,
hoodies, shirts, anything you want, anything you can ask for. Because you know one thing, we spin it different.
Break it down, bag it up, break it up, break it up, bag it up, bag it up, break it up, break it up, bag it up, bag it up. I tell my break it up, break it down, bag it up.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. ONORA Boys, that dude, the original Lucky Lefty himself, MALIK, ZAIRE. I am SHAUN Davis, SD2 Mics. We spent the first hour and a half of the show talking about the first practice of fall camp. Quarterback, offense, defense, future stars. It was all on display today in South Bend. Don't forget, subscribe on YouTube if you can. Go right now, hit that thumbs up. It helps with the views. Leave your comments and questions. We respond to all. If you have a super chat, super sticker, GTB question, go ahead. Put it in. We get to it immediately. And then, as always, brought to you on Bleav Network, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. Tap in on the audio side as well. You can follow us, Twitter, X, Instagram, and TikTok at Lucky Lefty Pod. Patreon.com/Lucky Lefty Network, Players Only Podcast, and the Lucky Legends Podcast coming during the season. Left the rotation. I'm sure you're gonna have some new guys with you on Players Only this year. You know, I had Jay Hayes,
That's my dog.
Bennett Jackson, CJ, DB said, he's gonna get in on the action this year. Is Max still in LA?
Max in LA, he's selling them solar panels, so that brother out there in them weather conditions. Make it happen though.
So you never know. And of course, I got Cam McDaniel was gonna join us at some point. Along with the OGs, Oscar McBride, Reggie Brooks. Man. It's gonna be fun. This year it's gonna be fun because I feel like Notre Dame players of the past now walking around the streets a little bit different. Their chests are poking out a little bit different nowadays.
Yeah, we gotta. It's the year to cement it. Right now, we're feeling it, but we gotta cement it this year because many people would say it's a fluke. Things just fell our way. Guys were just the right place, right time. Now we have everything to prove this year. Like, this is not a fluke. This is just the Marcus Freeman program. And it's a refreshing move for the school to bring this youthfulness to a school that just, to everybody else that don't know or don't understand, thinks it's just super traditional and a bubble. So it's really cool to see that change.
Marcus Freeman opened up his press conference saying this.
Welcome back. It's exciting. It's exciting to get out there and I think as you get more experience in this position, you understand day one is day one and it's a progression, but to be back out there, it means it's football season, and I love that our guys were in shape and, had a good physical day where they, we didn't have any injuries. Those guys are ready to go, and we're going to continue to progress forward. But it's just great to be back out, and they had a great summer, really good in terms of the strength conditioning. Coach Lando and our strength staff did a extremely really good job getting those guys prepared for this season, and they worked at it. There's times in the summer where coaches are gone, and what you see is that some of the leadership amongst our players showed they're ready to. They're at a level that's ahead of where you usually start if you don't have the leadership that truly gets the group going. So it was good. It was a good first day. So again, we'll go couple blocks, right? We really look at this thing in terms of blocks, in terms of a couple normal morning practices, three normal morning practices, then we'll have a night practice and then a day off. And so, this is just the start of block one. We'll progress. We'll
on mute.
That was pretty much it. He was getting ready to ask for questions. Anything stand out for you?
I'm glad, guys, with all these distractions and these trips they've taken overseas, like they in the NBA and all the extracurriculars that are really fancy and awesome, that they've still found a way to come and be prepared when it's came time to play football. So that just shows that we have a maturity on the team. Guys can have their fun and still be ready to come work, and that we're not succumbing to the distractions where we have to start two steps behind because guys out of shape. They've been fat catting on break, doing all type of stuff that can slow you down. Because still, we're still got a huge target on our back, even though we didn't win. So to get back there is not easy, and it's going to be probably rougher than the first time. But with the talent we have, we should be able to see through. But Marcus Freeman, just glad that he's back in the saddle, man. I think if anything, he's just happy that there's no injuries. That's probably what stands out. The more practices you can make it without crazy injuries, the better. And it just builds the excitement for getting ready for that first game, because now it's like, okay, if guys staying healthy this whole time, it's a lot easier to put this roster together to feel good for that first time out there.
Speaking of the strength conditioning, guys being ready to go and in shape, he talked about Lauren Lindo and what he's added to the program.
Coach Lando's experienced in the field of strength conditioning, but I love that he's adaptable. He's able to adapt to the young people that he leads. He's able to adapt to the coaching staff, the strength staff, and that's what he does. Hey, coach, we want to do a little bit more football. How does that impact what we're doing in the weight room? And, okay, coach, we want to do more weight room time here, and we'll do less football. And, he's a great teammate, but a great leader. And that's what the results are the results, man. I couldn't be more confident in this football team in terms of where they are physically. But he challenged them mentally, too. They're at a strong state mentally. But more than anything, he's a great teammate and a great leader.
And then you've touched on it before, but he had that NFL experience, and then you guys obviously are coming off the longest season in the history of the program. How much did those elements kind of factor in and help you as you prepare this team for the coming season? Yeah.
As much experience as he's had with that, it's a different athlete. You're talking 18 to 22-year-olds that have to go to class and have to deal with a lot of different things that maybe the people in the NFL don't have to deal with. But his expertise gave some great input, and we have a great sports performance team that we're able to put a lot of ideas together and come up with a plan, right? And then the challenges after that season and say, okay, how can we make this plan better? And that's what we've done.
Yeah, I think the early return on Lauren Lando and his hiring have been great. Keep it a buck. Like you said, Left, not only does he identify talent on the field, he's able to identify talent with staff and people he wants to work with. He's able to identify the next star or the next great guy at that position. The Mike Martin hire has paid huge dividends in the 2026 recruiting class. Very subtly, very quietly, the way he's read easily can translate and converse with players and parents about NIL, the business side, and how that positions them at a school like Notre Dame to take advantage of those things rather than taking the upfront money at another school that might be willing to pay them more. Right. Or might be willing to give them $70,000 for a roster bonus. Wink, wink, 1 to 26 kids, but I'll leave it at that. It is it's just amazing, man. It's really amazing to watch this staff work at this point and to see Lauren Lando, kind of, because there was a lot of buzz about, injuries while he was there with the Denver Broncos and whether or not he was to blame. And, I think he's kind of answered the bell and fit the bill for the Fighting Irish and Coach Marcus Freeman. He talked about what he's expecting and what's going to decide the winner of this quarterback competition, Left. And this is what Marcus Freeman had to say about that.
Again, it's going to be consistency, right? And, I've always said that they will determine who's the starting quarterback, right? And we want to see guys that are consistent. We want our quarterbacks, all of them, to be consistent, but who can be the most consistent, who can take care of the football, who can continue to keep our offense moving forward. And again, that play happening consistently. And so, I've always said this, that they'll determine who's the starting quarterback. But today was day one. We'll grade it every day. We'll put them in similar challenging situations. They'll rotate between groups. At some point when a starter's ready to be named, we have to name one.
In the other positions where you are having competitions for the starter, is that the same criteria, that consistency?
Oh, yeah. Consistency is the number one criteria for any position. Because I'm a firm believer in consistency builds trust, and coaches are going to play players they trust. At the end of the day, no matter how athletic you are or how highly recruited you are, if the coach doesn't trust you, we can't put you out there consistently. And so that's the number one key to being on the playing field is being consistent.
Yep.
Yeah, what I got from that was he wants the most boring player. That's the quarterback that's going to play this year, is the most boring guy. Because if you can be the most boring, that means you're the most consistent, which means that you're just doing your job. We don't really need, like we keep saying, the savior, the Johnny Manziel type, the do-it-all or nothing or high mistakes, high reward type of quarterback, which, is very appealing to fan bases and to teams because it's high risk, high reward. You may get a game 7 touchdowns, you may get a game 7 picks. We need the boring guy because everything else is great around you. We need a guy that can get the 15 to 16 in the first half, throw in the open guys. We're not asking you to fit in no windows where it's like, oh, we breaking down sports science, how you fit it right over the guy in the bucket, and we don't need trick shots or you jumping over people, throwing it crazy. No, we just need the most boring guy. Good boring stats. 22 26, 235, 2 touchdowns, and he ran one in. Give me some of that. 28 34, 268, 3 touchdowns. Just give me a nice day. Just give me a nice day.
Coach Freeman continued this conversation about the quarterbacks.
I try not to be result driven, that, and I know a couple. I was with spot one most of the practice, and I know they had a couple interceptions, and people are going to say it's on the quarterback. And I've always said there's nobody that emulates the head coach than the quarterback, right? They're going to get blamed for that interception, and it might not be their fault. I haven't watched film. I don't know what happened. I move on to the next play like I expect them to do, but. We could sit there and watch and there's an interception and yell at the quarterback, or we don't know if the wideout screwed up the route. We don't know if the O-line messed up the protection. We don't know. Maybe the coach called the wrong play call. And so I try not to be result. They might throw a touchdown and the DB fell down in the game. They're not supposed to throw that ball. And so I'm going to go back and get with the offense staff. I'll watch and say, okay, hey, let's talk about what decision should he have made. Did he make that right decision? We'll get to the delivery, to the ball, and all that. To me, it's like, what decision do we want him to make here? Did he make the right decision? And that's what's more important than anything. Now, here's what I loved is that I heard both of them keep saying reload, reload, good or bad play, reload, like let that last play go, because that's the ultimate challenge for everybody in our program, but most importantly, the quarterback. You have to take, was that a good or bad? This is what I said at practice. Was that a good or bad play? Take the feedback and move on and reload, right, for the next play. And I saw them really working on that today in practice.
Yeah, as a young guy, you want to talk everything out, getting your feels. So it's like, it's like when we talked about that first day of freshman live. It's like everybody coming there, they 5-star, best player of the team. We just warming up now. Now the warm up like 20 minutes. But these guys in here, 100%, straight, the most athletic warm up ever. You would have thought dudes was gonna get drafted after that freshman warm up. It's funny like that. You know what I mean? So it's the same thing with this. It's just you just so eager. That every little thing you're trying to overanalyze as a quarterback because you want to seem locked in. You want to seem on top of the things like it's good, I got it, So some of that is just the eagerness. You just trying a little too hard. You pressed a little because, veteran, when you get to a veteran level, it's like, dude, I'm thinking of the bigger picture. I got to get to September 7th. That's the first game. Every day is a little bit more. I might not even watch the morning practice film because I'm thinking of different. So I think that's just what the guys have to get adjusted to. You don't have to perform for these coaches and be all super like Reed Richards about even like the leader. You just so zoned in, like let it just, you gonna make mistakes, be more humble about the mistake. Just okay, you're right, coach, like whatever, like don't be like, coach, but what about this? And I just because you just add too much anxiety to practice. Like, man, just go out there and play your game. If anything, my whole thing would be trying to find ways to be different, right? Like and it's more of a personal mental edge thing. Like they said, Dan Marino, whenever he threw a pick or whenever he had a bad pass, he would just never take accountability for it. Like it could never, but that was just his way of protecting his mental space. You know what I mean? Like bad ball, it couldn't have been his fault. It had to be the ball slipped or something in the lacing, just anything other than it wasn't the routine. So I think that's just what these guys got to get adjusted to, is that it ain't you talking to your coach every rep about what happened, good, bad, or indifferent, isn't going to get you on the field any faster. It's more important that you stack days, you play big in moments, you more of a team guy, like,
It's kind of like my golf game today. It's one of the worst 9 holes of golf I played in my life, bro. The worst, bro.
Because you couldn't relax. You just overanalyzing the swing. You trying different stuff you ain't tried before.
I was all
overcorrecting.
I was double Muggsy all day, bro. I don't know what was going on. But those Muggsy Bogues. You know what I'm saying? So I was double bogey just first 5 holes. Like, and then the 6th hole I found it a little something like in the fairway on the 6th. And then kind of,
But you hot already. You already hot. It's like
yeah, but it was just like, and it was nuts. That's when you start to overthink. When you're playing bad, now you start to overthink.
Now you asking unnecessary questions like, was that a pick? Yes, you threw it right to the defense.
Now you're looking at everything. Now I'm thinking about, man, my feet too wide. Now I'm thinking, is the ball too far away from me? Now, man, do I have control of my club face. Like, am I taking it back right? Am I keeping my head down? Now you're just thinking about
Thoughts, yes,
everything.
too many thoughts.
And
But
it's just
that
like,
happens so fast as a young quarterback.
it happens fast on the golf course. Like,
Yeah.
dude, what in the world just happened?
Because remember, none of these guys have played for real. So they trying to get they little swag anyway in there where they got to try to get the cadence right, your natural on the field conversations with your guys. Because it's your first time and you gotta tell a dude to hurry up. That's a whole experience in itself. And the confidence you gotta build when you Jaden Greyhouse. And I'm CJ Carr and Jaden Greyhouse being lazy. That first interaction is big. Do CJ get big on him? Hey man, hurry up. Or do we hit him with the hey one? Like, come on, man, I need you. And so you gotta know your ranges. Not to mention these complicated ass plays.
Hey,
You're standing trying to think of
this the thick playbook, boy.
Yeah.
Tim Brock got it out the attic.
Yeah, the verbiage is long. You got your head got to be on the swivel. You got to be thinking of the plays. So that's a whole.
I think that's something that it was pointed out that a couple of times both quarterbacks did not notice that the wrong personnel was on the field, and they had personnel running on the field late. So that's once again,
you
knowing the call.
Who your cheater is, you gotta know.
That's all. That's your responsibility as the quarterback.
Your first day, you're not going. You thinking it like shit. What's the rest of the play? You ain't looking around in the huddle to see it because everything's moving. Because in the back of your mind, you're thinking this is a competition. You're not thinking like a vet that's starting like these other guys where you like, sure, we got everybody in the huddle. Raise your hand if you're here. Because you're not thinking over your shoulder. If I do the wrong thing, which that's why I be thinking it's getting too high stakes for this to be just unknown competition. Go in there, name a dude. Be like, shoot, if he played too bad, now we go to you. That's how I would have preferred it, because it's just too much anxiety trying to prepare to go against another team when you're like, I don't know if these guys are liking this dude more. I don't know, because they got like Marcus Freeman. That's why I think it's just confusing to be like they're going to decide. Really, they're going to decide. If they both decided, they're going to choose themselves. Like, so be the head coach is getting paid X amount of dollars with that extension and be like, I'm choosing the dude I like the best. See, I like that from the head coach. More on the Steve Sarkisian level, because he was like, dude, Quinn was our dude. Now I know his situation is a little different because they both haven't played, but it would be refreshing and more of a Marcus Freeman has a tricks up his sleeve. He knows something we don't, with his firmness on a particular guy. Just because there's no loss, right? You go one guy or the other, they both pretty similar, whatever, But that confidence that emanates from the head coach and what it says to college football, like, no, we got our guys, is this dude. I like the other guy too, but we're going to rock. As they do in the NFL, they're like, oh, this is the dude, but we like who we got too, and if something happens, and that's fair, but at least it gives those two guys the mindset of, okay, this is what I need to do consistently just to be good myself. I don't have to worry about having to do something I'm not prepared for on my own level because I'm trying to play. And that's where you get playing outside of yourself, where you're like, oh, I got to perform to look good for these people, and I got to try things that I usually don't to impress somebody to get me the starting spot, when it should just be a pecking order, because it's a more comfortable way to progress and develop. I mean, it happens with every other position, but that's only when Like, don't keep these guys in the dark where you're like, oh, you did all right today, like this other guy, because you're trying to prepare to win a football game with thousands of people screaming, and you got to know your teammates, and like chemistry, I just think is the most important thing over anything. And at quarterback position, when you're competing, how do you think of a team sport when you're like knowing it's a subjective decision from your coach? Because hell, I may think I played great today, but we go to film and coach is like, oh, I don't like this, I don't like that. See, now you stuck in. Oh, I gotta play well for the coach's eyes and not what I feel good about myself. So it's a lot. But if Marcus Freeman, I swear to God, Marcus Freeman tomorrow said, hey, Kenny's our starter. CJ is a great guy. He's going to be right there. And if anything happens, we're going to roll with CJ, whatever. I think you will see better days at practice from the both of them, honestly.
Lucky Lefty Podcast. Hey, like I said, I'll be at practice tomorrow morning, and we'll be back with you. More than likely, depending upon, both our schedules, 5:30 p.m. Central Time or either 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Those are going to be the times that we lock in with you guys. So a couple of times we're probably going to have a late night show. You guys have been fantastic, man. I didn't know you were going to rock with us like this late night. We got one more one more question from my guy Cajun Irish. SD, are you getting Peyton on Miami week? No, he's not coming on. We are actually going to be live streaming from his restaurant the day of the game, watching the game together. So we're putting that together. We'll be live.
And the loser pays for the meal. How about that?
Well, it's his restaurant, so he's paying for the meal regardless.
Oh, look at that.
So yeah, flagship out there. It's his restaurant. We're gonna be watching it from there and live streaming it. I think we're gonna have it live stream on our platform or our YouTube page.
It'll be over by halftime, so you got to get there early. Get your food orders in. By halftime, we'll be playing all the little games and little darts in the back, little tall cornhole.
Yeah. It's in the north suburbs of Chicago. It's in Chicago, so I'm sure he's gonna have all his. So he has a lot of former Miami baseball players that live here, bro. Wow. For some odd reason, it's a lot of former Miami baseball players that play here. And Chicago is like the third biggest alumni base for the University of Miami. So it's a huge hub for them. So they can all take this whooping.
Yeah, they would all get
it. Don't change. It doesn't change anything. You can take it.
Telling you, because their quarterback situation is hogwash.
I was watching. I would encourage everyone to go to YouTube and watch their Spring Access. They had a Spring Access documentary. Their D line is good. Their D line is good. Their offensive line, their tackles are huge. I'm talking about they are some huge tackles. Huge tackle. They lost a lot on the interior of the offensive line, but their tackles are really big. Mark Fletcher is not super fast, but he's just a solid running back. Just a power running back and run outside, inside. Love the kid. Their wide receivers are really small.
They're just not strong enough. They're not strong enough at the quarterback position. That's what I'm saying. We just got too much. You got to have an ASAC quarterback. You got to have a defense that's going to give you a chance. But that chemistry between your quarterback and that offense, you got to be 2-3 years in, or the highest paid with all the 5 stars, because it's just a lot to be thinking about strategically.
Yeah. We'll get back. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Lucky Lefty Podcast for MALIK, SD2 mics. You already know. We spin it different.